Greetings, beloveds. I'm back. If you saw the title, we are going to talk about channeling. And I've talked about this before. This topic has come up before. And we're going to do a deep dive into it today because in light of what's happening right now, if you're unaware, there's a lot of information coming out now about this poison that we were gaslit into accepting, putting into our bodies, ostracizing people for not doing it, all of that stuff that was tactics that were used that are being admitted by the people, and all these people that are now admitting under oath that it was on a part of the agenda. Now, many of us knew this. Many of us just knew based on the fact that we have been warning against these things for a very long time, being toxic and being nanite technology and all of these things that are coming out right now. One of the things that I feel is necessary to talk about is these channels that are heavily corrupted, that are heavily infiltrated and distorted, and are a part of this agenda. Some of them are not knowing. And we're going to talk about why they don't know that they are a part of this. And there are some that do. Okay, so let's not be naive to believe that just because someone looks like us, that they're on our team. I always remind people not all skin folk is kinfolk, and that goes through just the human skin. Okay, I'm not talking about this particular skin. I'm talking about the human. So we got to be really mindful about what's happening here and the role that we are continuing to play in it. When we sit back and say nothing, when we see these things happening, we only talk amongst each other and we don't share this information, which is why I'm putting it out there. And I know I'm not going to be popular for these videos. I'm not looking to be popular. I did not come here to be YouTube famous. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. I came here to share this information with you so that you can make an informed decision when you are moving forward in your spiritual development. We are heavily targeted. The ones that are asleep, they're being targeted in a different way. But once you start waking up, please believe that the road is not all paved with milk and honey and gold dust. There are challenges that come up that require you using discernment. Sometimes you're going to stumble. You're going to get yourself into these traps. You're going to fall into a lot of this distortion. It's a part of the process. Again, when you know better, you do better. When you find out these things are happening, then you can make the shift. And this is not talking crap about people that are channeling. I myself used to channel. I just want to talk about channeling itself, okay? Because first and foremost, let's start from the very beginning. Channeling is an esoteric practice. That means it's advanced. Most of these people that are channeling have absolutely no training in the esoteric. They have no knowledge and information. They are unsuspecting victims that get pulled in from whatever trauma they're going through, or, sometimes, they have sightings. Listen, a malevolent ET can do all of the spectacular smoke and mirrors to get you to believe that you're some chosen one and, you've been chosen to bring through information for the collective and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's plenty of people that are chosen to bring through information for the collective. But look at how this information is coming through. If something needs to take over your body to bring through information, and it's not training you how to receive the information without any of these distorted overlays, knowing all of these ETs know that there is heavy Metatronic distortion in this 3D reality. So the ones that are not preparing their unsuspecting human saying that, oh, we're a part of the same soul and blah, 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 blah. And this is your soul contract that you chose before incarnation. How is that even possible when you can't remember anything that you did? They wipe you the minute you go through the death process. That's how you get back in here. We all know about the soul traps. So don't you think there are other things going on? You've got to think. And then you have these channels, these so-called channels, and because they're bringing through all of this, fantastical information, right away, people get duped because of, again, a lot of the programming. There was a lot of things done to make sure that you stay in this reality and you stay stuck and you don't really know what's going on. Trust me, it was a well-orchestrated machine to make sure that you continue to loop and stay in these time loops so that you don't figure out what's going on, what you need to be doing in order to ascend. Because if you think that when you leave this body, that you just automatically go back to source, that's a part of the manipulation that these ETs, yes, these extraterrestrials are doing, because they benefit from you continuing to stay here. Why do they benefit? For many reasons. They're siphoning off of your energy. They get to have a body because some of them are non-physical and don't have one anymore. All of these things are happening. And if you believe that you are in this reality, you know there's a spiritual war going on, but you pick and choose what's in the war. How is that empowering you? That doesn't make sense. One of the reasons why I share so much of this information is because I continue to ask the questions. And because I know that my everything is dependent on me continuing to ask the questions and not just sitting as a simpleton and saying, okay, I'm going to go along with it. Yeah, I trust. But you know how I like to talk about that third eye, side eye. I need to make sure that whatever it is that I'm getting myself into is in alignment with my ascension, that is going to help me. Unfortunately, most of these channels have been heavily manipulated and distorted. If you have distortions in you, if you have Metatronic AI infiltrated consciousness fields masking themselves as benevolent beings here in this reality, and you are not doing anything to prevent yourself from being hijacked, then most certainly when you are channeling, you are not channeling Krystic pure essence. You are not channeling from your oversoul. You're not channeling from your Rishi avatar consciousness. These are the streams of consciousness that you need to be communicating with. And if you were communicating with them, they would not tell you to channel. There would be direct transmissions through holographic texts or frequency downloads, or even in your Maharic shield. And definitely when you have plasma template and DNA recalibrations, then you can have direct communication. Everything else is distorted. It is. Again, most of these channels have absolutely no training to know the difference of what distortion is. They just start feeling all this high energy. They have all these beings telling them things, following ships and all this magical, fantastical stuff. And then they go along with it. Most channels have absolutely no esoteric training. They're winging it. They're being guinea pigged. They're being used to control the masses. Prime example, Esther Hicks. Esther Hicks was raised religious. So we already know that programming is in there. Raised religious. Her and her husband started messing with Ouija boards and everything else. I'm not making it up. It's common knowledge. They've wrote books about it, about how they came to connect with Abraham. That most people, when I tell what Abraham is, they look at me like I have two heads. Most people don't even know that Esther Hicks herself has said that Abraham is a non-physical collective, non-physical collective, right? She doesn't know from what dimension. She doesn't know any of that. She just knows that it's a non-physical collective that's giving her some good information, or what she believes is good information, claiming some false law. The law of attraction is not a law. It's not even a secondary law. It's distorted. Why is it distorted? So that you can buy into that illusion, and that you can now tether yourself to this karmic cycle. That's what the law of attraction does. And I'm speaking as someone who was in it. We all were. Those of us that woke up, we're all a law of attraction and, The Secret and all that stuff, right? We were all duped into that, not realizing that this is some lower life form entity that's having a good old time on earth. You got law of attraction coaches and all sorts of stuff based on this lie. And it's coming from, again, someone that has absolutely no training in esoteric studies, no way of knowing if you are connecting to something malevolent or not. If a being is malevolent, it can trick you. It can tell you whatever it wants. And if you have absolutely no understanding, you're going to go along with it. And unfortunately, not only did Jerry and Esther Hicks go along with it, but they dragged everybody else with them. That's just one example. Another example, now we have Darryl Anka, who channels Bashar. And that was a whole big theatrical thing of him chasing a spaceship, all that stuff. So you already know that that is for sure an ET, because it started showing him a ship for him to know, to make the connection that this is an ET. Again, no formal training. He went to the learning annex or whatever he did to learn channeling again. Western nonsense of channeling, scribbling and doing all of that other stuff that doesn't really help you detect whether an entity is malevolent or not. It doesn't give you any understanding of how to protect yourself and shield yourself when you are communicating with interdimensionals, extraterrestrials, all of those things. He did none of that. He was, again, another person that got duped into this. I feel really sorry for him, Darryl. Bashar, not so much. Bashar, to me, I stopped tuning into him years ago. Just did not sit right with me. A lot of the things that he was saying sound like a lot of gaslighting and manipulation. And when that thing came around in 2020 and the whole planet was, going through whatever, Bashar was one of the first ones that said, and I quote, "That thing has no poison in it. It's the human. It's us feeble humans. It's not this thing that now all this evidence is coming out to show that, yeah, it was cooked up in a lab. People were losing their accounts. You were banned. You couldn't even talk about it. Based on everything that all the conspiracy theorists, all the things that we were saying, how much people stopped listening to me. Oh, I'm creating separation, blah, 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 blah. Nanites, how is that possible that there can be nanites in something? All of that stuff. He was one of the first ones on the bandwagon saying...
What do you mean get rid of the vaccine?
Well, detox from the vaccine.
The vaccine is not toxic.
Oof, okay.
What? Now what? The second thing is the election we just had. If you have the female, you will have open contact, and you will have blah, blah, blah. If you have the male, you will have war. And blah, blah. What happened? What's going on? And no one is asking questions? I am. I hope he hears this. What's up now, Bashar? Because I'm not talking to 𝕨𝕐𝕟𝕟𝕟. Like I said, I think Daryl has been hijacked since the very beginning. So has Esther Hicks. So has most of these channels. Most of them have been hijacked since day one. And you've got to realize and understand what's going on. Ask the questions. How is it that you are channeling this higher dimensional level being? You ain't doing no shadow work. You ain't doing none of the things that you know spiritually you're supposed to be doing. You done bypassed all of that because it's in your contract. A contract. Mateos Stephanos is another one. And because he can call in light ships and... Are you kidding? There's a video circulating around of a man in the 70s that was calling in light ships. It's not hard to call in a light ship. Go to CE5. It'll walk you through the process. Call in a light ship. That's not an indication that you are connecting to some higher level being. Most of these things are AI infiltrated beings, Metatronic, Black Cube AI, WISA Collective. They're all distorted, disconnected, disincarnate souls, astral parasites, fragmented consciousness that are coming in now and claiming to be these exalted ascended masters, galactic councils, angelics. And everybody is just like, oh my gosh, oh, Archangel Michael. Come on, guys. It's 2025. And it's not even that they're just channeling the information, right? You have channels of information. They're just constantly just talking in circles. They can't tell you anything about your Merkaba mechanics. They can't, I mean, probably now, because, you got ChatGPT, so it's easy for them to just go and memorize. But think about it. Because that's what made me shift away from a lot of these channels. I remember when I'd gotten sent by Metatron to this channel, and he was there insisting that everyone was a shaman and blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, what? This is hijacked. What is going on here? I'm the person that asks questions. I am so Aquarius. I am such an inquisitive mind that you can't just tell me anything for too long. Because again, we've all been duped. So I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, I never. Because that would be a lie. And I'm not going to lie to you. For sure. And I say this all the time. One of the things that would really help us out as a collective is if we could stop damn lying to each other. I try my best not to tell a lie. For what reason? Because it doesn't serve a purpose. And all you do is keep spinning yourself around in entanglement. So what I will not do and what you will not hear from me is some damn false truth. Okay? It's not coming out of my mouth. If I don't know something, I'm going to go find out about it. If I do some research and then I do some more research, I'm going to come back every single time and I'm going to show you what I've done the work on. And from what I can tell, most of these channels are not channeling anything in the realms that we need to be communicating with in order to help us ascend. Most of these beings are placed here to keep us trapped in these time loops, to keep us stuck in this temporal space. Yes, Earth was a paradise at one point. It is not that anymore. Now it is a falling system. And if you think that coming along to try to fix this fallen system is the first thing on the agenda, then I hate to break it to you. Please open your eyes, remove the rose-colored glasses, and look around at the world. And some people will listen to this message and say, oh, where's the love? Oh, you got to put love. You got to put positive. This is the most positive, loving thing I can share with you. I'm not going to love bomb you. You want some love bombing? Go somewhere else for that. Love bombing doesn't do anything for you. Most of the spiritual community is being love bombed. You're sitting and listening to a fantasy when you should be tuned in to the reality of your ascension. This is empowering you. You have to learn how to discern. If you don't learn how to discern, you will sit in these spaces of manipulation. Channeling is something that requires an extensive amount of flushing out all of these programmings in order for you to be able to do that. And it's very easy for us to be duped. When you're channeling and you're channeling some entity, it's distorting, it's altering your DNA. It's embedded, distorting scalar frequencies, inorganic light codes. All of that stuff is happening. You're just becoming more Metatronic. And then they dupe you with this forced contractual binding and tell you that it's a contract. No, they're hijacking your pineal gland and you're being mind controlled. What preventions are you taking to make sure that this communication that you're receiving is authentic? And it's always some non-physical collective. Or, another one is Lee Harris. Love Lee. But Lee, who are you channeling the Z's? Who are they? Where are they from? What is it that they're doing to help you make sure that the connection that you're having is not distorting your template? Are they even having those conversations with you? Oh, no, that's paranoia. Oh, you just got to trust. What? I have never witnessed people so blindly just following, just going along with the go along. You're doing a seance or you're doing a guided meditation to communicate with guides. What guides? In the 4D? You ain't guiding me nowhere in the 4D. You are in the fourth dimension. You're not guiding me. You're in the astral plane. Where are you guiding me to? To go back into the death trap? Bye. No. I've always said this. Put up your shield. Put up your shield and then see what's going on. And I can tell you, I will admit it, as someone that creates shields, nothing has ever been more potent than that Maharic shield. I will hear stuff because I'm a highly intuitive empath. Most of you are like me. That means you hear, you feel all of the things, right? Your senses are very heightened. You have high clairvoyance senses, high clairsentient, high clear cognitive. All of that is extremely high. What does that mean? It means you need to use more discernment. And I don't know, I'm always in my shield. I put my shield on in the morning and at night because I know the world that I'm in. I'm not going to sit here and be naive enough to think I am God. I am God Spark. But yeah, it's because I'm God Spark. I need to shield myself. It's like you're a soldier. You're going to go out in the middle of the damn a minefield or in the middle of fire and just sit there like, oh, I'm a soldier. No, you're going to have all the, look at the soldiers. Yes, that's what it's about. Earth right now, we're in a spiritual battle. If you don't know that, that's where you are. Maybe you don't believe that. You're off, with fairy dust glamoring you, and you think that the archangels are protecting you. They're siphoning your energy. Those archangels. I'm not saying all archangels are bad. I'm telling you that the ones that are telling you you do not have to shield are siphoning your energy. That's the rub here. The good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, they're all here. Everything is here on Earth. I don't know why you would believe that this planet is all goody-goody gumdrop. Look around. There's children being missing, people taken off world. We have all of that happening. It's all coming out. This is no longer speculation. These are no longer conspiracy theories. They're not theories anymore. They are proven fact in your face. And the minute you get that information, all they do is pile down some more so you can forget about the man behind the curtain. And I'm telling you to pull that curtain wide open and look at all of it. That's what needs to happen here. And especially when it comes to channeling, use your discernment. I know when I put that video out a while ago, a lot of people didn't like it. It was a video that Ashana Dean did in one of her earlier workshops, and she talked about channeling. And it was a little short, and I put it out. And boy, oh boy, did not like it. Made people very uncomfortable, very uneasy. They didn't want to hear that truth. Probably still don't. Some of you are probably watching this video right now going, I know that I'm communicating with higher dimensional beings when I channel. And I know. Okay, baby. I know you know. I'm not downing you. I'm not telling you to not to do it. I'm telling you to be mindful, to use your discernment, to take precautions when you are channeling, and don't just get up and start channeling. I taught a channeling masterclass in 2020, I believe, or 2021. I can't remember. And I didn't teach one again after that. I only left it to my galactic shamanism. Do you want to know why? Because no matter how much information I gave those people in that class, there were some of them that did not listen and just decided to go off on their own and do whatever. And I don't want that karma or responsibility. That's why I'm mindful of what I teach. I'm not interested in being entangled. Okay? I am doing my best to abide by that law of non-interference as much as I can, because unfortunately, most people do not use their discernment. They just jump in and think, their God spark will protect them. And that's just not how it works. And if you don't even know that, then there's no point in me even trying to redirect you or help, because it'll be falling on deaf ears. And I'm not here to argue with a single soul, not a single person I'm here to argue with. I'm here to share the information that I've been given by my monad, by my oversoul, my avatar, Rishi consciousness, that took time, trial and error, trust me. And I was into esoteric work. I didn't just go the willy-nilly, just jumping in because I'm curious and feel like I'm Teflon way. And I still had challenges because it's not easy. It's not just 1, 2, 3, I get up and I start communicating. Anybody that's channeling right now, that's listening to me, do your Maharic Shield for 1 month straight without channeling. Do your Maharic Shield for 1 month straight, and then try to communicate with those so-called beings that were communicating with you before. I bet you it's radio silence. I bet you it's crickets. Or if they do communicate with you, You hear the distortion. You feel it in your body. Test it out. If you think I'm talking nonsense, test it out. We've got to use our discernment. Now let's go back to these channels, because we're all sitting here listening to them thinking that they're giving us all this information that's coming in from these federations of light. And y'all know there's false light, right? Y'all know that a lot of these, again, the galactic bureaucracy. There's a lot of static going on. Most of these groups are fallen angelics. They're fallen collectives. And they will say anything. They will tell you that they are your mama to make sure that you stay doing what they need you to do so that you can be fed off of. And I know that's a little graphic for people. That's a little challenging for people to hear. That may sound negative. What do you think is happening here, sweetheart? What do you think they want? Huh? You think they're doing all this for your entertainment? You think they're just toying with you and they're bored? No. You are a source of food in many different capacities. And all of that is coming out now too. You've got ex-military talking about, yeah, we sat here and we watched a whole bunch of humans being, put on a ship. Another thing with that, I remember watching 𝕨𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟𝕜, who is an extensive researcher in UFOs and all of the deep state and government cover-ups and all of that stuff. She sat in front of Bashar and asked him about it, and he proceeded to tell her that none of that was true. And the extent of our brainwashing is, not only did she sit there and thank him for telling her that all of her years of work were nonsense, but everybody in the audience was clapping. What? I would have been like, listen, Bashar, I don't know what's going on and what you're talking about. Maybe we're talking about two different, realities, because you always like to talk about these different realities that we're creating. But I know on the planet that I'm on, all of this is going on. And all of these ex-military that I'm interviewing and talking to, and all of this years of research that I have built is saying something totally different from what you're saying right now. So what's up with that? No, everyone just sat there and took it and went along with it and was okay with it. I've sat in a conference listening to complete madness that the Guardian sent us there to go and, get intel. And I sat there and I listened to this person stand on stage and talk about some insectoid invasion and all this stuff, and all how we're not going to be able to do anything, just hide and blah 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 blah, and disempowering. It was so insane. And I said, okay, well, I'm pretty sure that all these people that were there, they're going to get up the next day on their platform and they're going to be talking about it, because that was absolutely insane. Nothing. Crickets. And if you go back far enough, you'll hear me talk about it and talk about being mindful of these, whistleblowers. Some of them are plants. Unfortunately, that's just where we are right now. Some of them are plants. They get planted in the, we're going to come out and we're going to tell everything that's going on. Meanwhile, they're just trying to confuse the public even more. You're a whistleblower. I thank you for doing that, for putting yourself at risk. But at one point you were in on it. So I don't know how much I trust you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're blowing a whistle, but at one point you were going along with everything that you're telling me about now. Think about that. And you become a whistleblower because what now? Because you finally figured out that everything that you've been doing for decades is wrong. Now you know it. You didn't know it before when it was lining your pockets. And I'm not talking about all of them. Some of them were literally military slaves. So they couldn't do anything. But the ones that were in on it, you listen to Emery Smith talk, that man creeps me out the way he talks about the experiments that he was doing on ETs. It's extremely diabolical. Very sociopathic. Like, just sit and listen to him. I mean, I don't watch Gaia anymore because Gaia has been completely infiltrated, for sure. But sit and listen to some of these guys talk, and you'll be like, oh, wow, what the heck? I've had several encounters, with him in the astral and reptilians. So there's that. And again, yeah, we're going to have this conversation because I don't know. It's like all this stuff is going on around me and no one's saying anything. So I guess I'm going to have to pick up my platinum balls again because it seems that, not everybody got the balls. Here I am. I don't mind. Again, I'm not here to be famous. This is a matter of my information through research and discernment. I'm telling you right now, be really mindful of all of these people that are claiming to be channels and claiming to be whistleblowers and all of this stuff. Be really mindful. What's their agenda? Because there is one. And all of this stuff that they're telling you, but can they help you? Why aren't you talking about ascension? All these channels, why aren't you talking about ascension? Huh? Thoron. That dude is an Anunnaki. Y'all don't know that Thoron is an Anunnaki? Come on, bro. I don't care how many times. Again, these ETs can let you see sightings. It's not nothing extravagant to have a light ship come. It's not anything that's like, oh my gosh, it must be a higher dimensional being because, these negative ETs wouldn't be able to do that. Why not? Their technology is way more advanced than us. This is like biblical times. If we were to walk around in biblical times without iPhones, people would be losing their mind. Okay? Even our clothes. Anything that was not there 3,000 years ago that we produce, people would be losing their mind. They would be worshiping us. They would be building shrines to us. I don't know if you guys ever seen the new Star Trek. This is the scene that they're showing me as an example, okay? I don't know if you've ever seen, and this is what I mean by data streaming, okay? So there's this scene in the new Star Trek with Chris Pine, and I think it's the second one where he's been made to be the captain of the Enterprise, and they're going on a mission to try to help some volcano or whatever it is to get the volcano to not erupt and take out the consciousness that's there, the civilization that's there that's still developing, okay? And one of the things is this prime directive, right, that I've talked about, the non-intervention, which is that you can't let a species see you if they aren't developed, okay? And so that was the mission. They had to go in and do it, and they could not be seen. Well, Chris Pine got seen. They got seen when they were leaving, and all of a sudden, the life that was there, they at one point they were worshiping whatever symbol or god or deity they were worshiping at the time. The moment they saw the ship, the light ship, they dropped all of the stuff that they were doing and started worshiping that. And I'm saying that in relation to what's going on because it's very easy for us as an underdeveloped species, whether that be because of manipulation or not, we are underdeveloped. In terms of the galactics and what's going on in this universe and many others, we are a primitive life form. So when we are seeing these high technological things, we get all hyped up. Look at what happened with the drones the other day. Everybody was losing their damn minds. And most of that is is our technology. When I say our, planetary, because the drones weren't just in the States. Okay, most of that is our technology. And if it is, it's probably hollow earth stuff. Because guess what? We aren't on this planet by ourselves. And even the beings that are in hollow earth can do telepathic communication. And there's machines. So it's not just beings that are doing it. They have AI machines that can do telepathic communication. So again, who's channeling? What's channeling through you? What's happening? You got to weigh all of that into consideration. And then now what I'm saying, it makes a little bit more sense, right? Ask questions. Are you Krystic? Never, ever allow a full body takeover or trance channel state. Again, speaking as someone that has gone through all of those Metatronic manipulations and had to work my ass off to get those things out of me. My first go-to was getting those implants out. We're going to talk more about that in another video. And then it was the go-to of realigning, working with light codes, real light codes, not static. There is a difference working with Krystic scalar waves and technology. And by the way, none of this stuff is man-made machine. I'll talk about that in another video, but I did some heavy research into these so-called med beds that are nanite filled. Anything that we need to do, we do not need to rely on external technology. And any ET that's peddling that has a different agenda. We are the technology. And that's not, ego-based. That's the truth. That's knowing who you truly are. We are the technology, but the technology needs to be developed. It's not going to just come on. That's what most people think. They just think, oh yeah, we're God sparks. We just have to activate our DNA by going to sit out in the sun. Or going to work out and eat vegan. That's not going to activate your gene codes. Plasma light is, honey. You got to know how the equipment works. Most people don't know a dang gone thing about their metaphysical anatomy. We don't even know about our physical anatomy unless you go to medical school. And when you start researching metaphysics, it makes you have to research the physics. So it goes together. But when you're doing these things, you know that it is coming straight from the organic source that is within you and not anything outside of you. Most of this channel stuff is not coming from an organic place. That's what I'm saying. Most of it is hijacked. And now you have evident proof that most of these beings are hijacked. Another one is 𝕨𝑒𝑙izabeth walking around telling everybody, yeah, go ahead, go for it. The good Zetas, the good Zetas said that it's okay. What? Girl, go sit down. No one is drinking that Kool-Aid. Talking about you were taken on a secret council meeting in the moon. The moon? One of the most hijacked places in our solar system, the moon. Anybody that took you to the moon is not a good guy. And you can tell the manic behavior, all of those signs of someone that is being hijacked. Oh, I got to get this information out. The Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans are telling me, I got a message. There's one lady, she was crying her eyes out. I felt so bad for her. Crying her eyes out on TikTok, channeling the company of heaven and saying that Terrence Howard was Jeshua. Maybe Jeshua 9. If you know, you know. But what girl? And this was channeling. And she was crying and she was, oh, this is so powerful. And oh, baby. Wakey. It's time to wake up, everybody. I'm here to let you know it's time to wake up. And for those of you who are discouraged and are like, well, then what can we do? Like, I give up. If we can't trust channels, trust you. Trust yourself. I appreciate your trust. I appreciate your support, but trust in you. How do you trust in you? Build yourself up. Do your work. Clear out your field. Heal. And once again, I'm going to say this every time I say heal. I don't mean that as if you are broken. I mean to say activate your 12 strand because right now you don't have access to it. Heal. Work with plasma light. Use it every single day. Run it through your body. Pillar it into the earth. Work on your 𝕨𝕭𝕟𝕟𝕜. Because that's how you're going to get out of here. Because if you think that when you leave your body, everything is just going to come back to you, that's a dupe too, sweetheart. Again, it's like you never knowing how to drive and getting in a Mercedes and thinking you just going to take it into the sunset. That's not how it works. And there are beings that are reliant on you thinking that that's how it works. Because that's how you keep ending up back here. Listening to these channels talk nonsense for decades. It's been going on for, I don't even know how long. Definitely in the New Age. In the New Age, I would say is in the last 100 years. Most of these channels, Alice Bailey, all of them, most of them, yeah, there's good information in there. Don't get me wrong. But that's usually how misinformation is, right? That's usually how an agenda is. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. We're awake now. We're awake now. We're awake now. We're awake now. Okay? So back to the channeling. The channeling that we know on this planet for, let's even go back 100 years, is wildly in distortion and dangerous activity for us. It's dangerous for us because we're listening to these non-organic forces corrupting our DNA with false light manipulation and all this stuff and telling us to do all these things to ourselves based on channeling. You don't have to do no, you don't have to do all of that. That is, I don't even know what that is. That has nothing to do. And as someone that teaches toning, like what? That has nothing to do with communicating with your avatar in Rishi consciousness. And when I say avatar and Rishi, that means everything in that dimensional space below all of that is in communication. So yes, you can speak to Pleiadians, Arcturians. I'm not saying that all of that is false. I'm saying which ones are you talking to? There are plenty of beings from the Pleiades that you do not want anywhere near you. There are plenty of beings from Arcturus that you do not want anywhere near you. Please believe me. Okay? So use your discernment. Use your discernment when it comes to channeling. Use your Maharic shield. Put your Maharic shield up. Make sure that it is fortified. Your shield is tight. Now you get to see who you've been communicating. Are you ready for it? If you're ready for it, let's go. Communicate with your avatar, Rishi consciousness. Nothing that is not within that, they can't get through. They can't communicate. So if you were talking to, first of all, anything, any reincarnation thing, like any prophet or anything like that that has been on the earth plane, you don't want to be communicating with that. They're stuck in the 4D. They're in the astral. They're in the distorted 4D too. Like they're not even like in the higher planes going into the 5, 6. No. They're still in the lower astral, which is vast. It's way bigger than the earth plane. It's not bound by the planet. So believe me, it's vast. Okay? This is about you using discernment. This is about you, if you feel that you want to communicate, which is a great thing. You do want that higher dimensional guidance, because you're receiving guidance from all sorts of things anyway. Every time you get a download, or you get, guided, you get a nudge to go in a direction. People are always like, yeah, I'm just listening to my intuition and I'm just listening to my guidance. Who is guiding you? Do you know? Do you know what's guiding you? You just listening to the guidance, just so? This is going to help you. That's what I'm here to do. I'm not just here, not just the bearer of bad news, okay? I'm not just here sharing this information with you and then saying, well, we're fucked. No, this is the protocol. This is what you should be doing. This is going to help you. I'm not telling you to give your power away to anything. I'm not trading off one thing for another. I'm telling you to use discernment and learn that you are powerful enough to be communicating with Krystic, organic connections that are you, nothing outside of you. Okay? That's it. That's all I came here to say. I love you all so much. Okay? Yep. And I think that's about it. If you'd like to come and join me for the Ascension Protocol, well, registration is actually open now if you want to, but it's not starting until April. Those of you who are coming to join me, I'm pretty sure you're already getting guidance to prep and to make sure that you are in alignment for this course. And the guidance is coming through from your avatar and Rishi. You just got to use discernment. And if so, then reach out to me. Let me know that you're interested in joining. You can definitely just go onto the website, sweetspiritoflight.com, and go into the About Mentorship section, and you can read up all about the Ascension Protocol there. All right. I love you all so much. I'll see you all next time. May the eternal Christ flame radiate through you in harmonic balance, and may the highest Krystic order of source aligned light embrace your path in divine right order. Inasha, Kesha, Adonai, Shanti, Kristala, Hasha, Adora. And so it is.